Hi everyone, welcome to today's podcast, Rising in Truth, Life, Health and Conspiracy. And today we have the wonderful, beautiful Filiz. She is the inventor of InfiniteU, creating amazing artwork and sprays and oils and balms, and you have to go check it out, InfiniteU.com. There'll be details with the video. So let's welcome Filiz. Filiz, hello.
Hi, good morning. Good afternoon. You are in the world. Hi.
Hi, you look beautiful, nice and bright. I love the colors. I did the bit of the leopard tiger print today for you. I just felt like I had to because you always color.
That's so good because it balances us.
Yeah, yes, that's what I thought. So I want you to share whatever you want with the people. So, you know, I know let's go back to how we first met. So I'm pretty sure we first met the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival a long time ago.
Yeah, probably. Well, I started my work and I started my work 2006, but 2008 was my first MBS. So I think I would have met you probably my first or second MBS, 2008, 2000.
Yeah, I think it might have been the second. I don't know. It could have been first. I'm not good now with times, but I remember I had a little stall. You had your stall, and we just connected and clicked and been like friends. And ever since then, and I just fell in love with you from then.
Yeah, and sharing and doing a lot of things on stage. I remember.
Yeah. And your girls were really young. So I remember the girls there, and they were really young. They're all grown up now, engaged and married. So
that's right.
I remember Mind, Body, Spirit Festival back then. It was so good. And I remember when I had my stall, I just wanted to introduce myself to the public. And it was no fancy setup like everyone else. And I didn't even want to run any healing or anything. I just, I had like a package I put together, like a gift giveaway. And I remember people were actually asking me, will you do, like, for me to do work on them? And so I just unfolded. I had fold up chairs, I remember, and I started to work on the people then. But my whole point was just to introduce myself. But it was a great experience. I loved it. You know, I think it's changed now, and unfortunately we don't have them anymore because of the lockdowns. But did you like the Mind, Body, Spirit? Did it really help you with your work?
It did. I actually did 6 years straight. Sorry, one second. Carl, I'm on the Zoom, honey. I'm on the Zoom. There you go, everybody. I did straight. And then I remember being, you know, I mean, I loved it. So let me first be clear that I got so much out of the MBS. It was quite expensive to still hold a stand, but gave me an opportunity to share what I loved. And I would do the June Expo, so once a year. So I actually have to, I mean, I remember a single mum with 2 children as well. I saved up a lot of my money and was able to, you know, invest it in, you know, myself and my work, but also because I paint as well with, you know, a lot of my art pieces. And it gave me a chance to sort of buy my supplies, get everything ready, go and turn up and share what I have with the world. And really my message hasn't changed from then till now, which was just bring that positive energy, vibrancy into your space, you know, have it around you, have it as part of you, and then that helps uplift you and your spirit, no matter where you are. And I think being a single mum with my girls, I found that was my calling, to also inspire them. It doesn't matter what situation we find ourselves in, just to be able to use the color crystals, use what nature's given us to empower ourselves. So I love doing the MBSs, and I did stop back in 2012, I think was my last one. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 was my last episode, because they started to introduce a lot of bigger corporations that had bigger marketing budgets.
I remember.
Yes, and I felt like, and I remember I wrote in and I said, hey, you know, we have so many gifted people. We have so many creative spirits who just want to share what's coming, what's they've channeled, or what they feel, what they're feeling in their body to share with the world. Can we please not raise the prices? Can we please leave them at a reasonable rate? Because these They do incredible work. I'd love them to come and show the world.
Yeah.
But of course, that wasn't happening. And so I thought to myself, I think I'm done with mind, body, spirit. I think I've done what I wanted to achieve. So, I don't feel called to go again. And, here we are now. So that's not possible anyway. So.
But everything, I suppose a lot of little festivals and events came about as well. So a lot of other people, but the good thing with Mind, Body, Spirit, it's a bigger audience, so there's more people that will walk through. But it did get a bit too expensive for people who, couldn't afford the prices. They were just hiked up a bit too much. But you're right, a lot of the bigger corporations started to take over. But then the little festivals, markets, came about, I suppose. So then people sort of moved along there and online. But Filiz, what made you start making sprays and get into this? Was it something you were always into when you were young, or like what was it that you end up thinking, or were you doing it for yourself and then you went, I want to go public, or what was it that intrigued you to start making all this stuff?
Well, firstly, when I was married, we were in the construction and the building industry. And so I'd often be, doing a lot of the accounts and looking at plans and things. And I would often think to myself, oh, it's so interesting the way that they're designing homes, and, how harmonious is it for the people that are living in there, where the bedrooms placed, and just a lot of things that I was witnessing. And I remember I wanted to learn Feng Shui because of that, my background. And so that's what propelled me into, it was the beginning of my work. And so having the Feng Shui understanding and learning that from Master Fung, that was 2003. And also at the same time, my marriage was on the rocks and my marriage had ended. And so I thought to myself, my goodness, I wonder, it was more of a curiosity and from a healing place, I wonder if I can manipulate or change. I don't like the word manipulate. If I could change the space and introduce colors and crystals and scents and all of things. And I also, at the same time, I must say that I was a florist, raising my girls as well. So I was working as a florist, as a single mum. So studying, working as a florist. And so my intention was, well, we could save lives here, and we could save marriages, and we could save, so much heartache, because if people just only had this understanding. So that's where it started from. And I thought, oh, wow. So I thought it wasn't destiny for me to do it with my husband at the time, but it was something that I took on board. And how the whole thing came about was I had created my own packages with consulting. So I was doing the work, it changed obviously over the years, but I was doing the work more corporate, because that was my background. Yeah. So it was more working with the designers in the homes, and I was sharing, that was sort of a part of that extra package if the client wanted to see me, so we could discuss all this. And I loved it. As you can see, I've not stopped wearing color since then.
That's so good. But also your dad had a very big green thumb. So he loved the flowers, the herbs. So you sort of grew up with that as well. I suppose being ethnic like myself, we grew up with the gardens and but your dad, he actually knew how to make oils and my
dad knew, as a lot of the WOG parents or older parents have that understanding of how to grow their own food and how to cultivate their gardens. And dad knew about the distilling. He knew the benefits, not because he'd read about it in a book, but he knew it intuitively. And so he was good for this reason, Filiz, and this is what you do. A lot of old recipes that have now gone underground, dad had that knowledge and he passed it on. But I think he passed it on because also there was an interest from me, and also like my youngest daughter is looking and saying, what else did he do? And so I grew up with mum and dad drying mint from the garden, sun drying a lot of things. That was normal. That's just how you lived. For example, if bread, you don't go out and buy bread, you actually make it. So we grew up in this way, so our life was very different. Sort of when you get, I guess for me, when I got married and had children, I went into a very different world. But then it was amazing that world called me back again when I found myself on my own with my children. It's like, how do I survive now? What do I do?
So, and it's so important today. And I mean, I know community's been building for a long time. And like myself, like my great grandfather was a healer and it runs in the family. And I was gifted with gifts from a little girl, not knowing what is this? Why do I know stuff and other people can't see and hear, you know? But as well for me, there was a real push from spirit, from my guides, that was like, you have to now go out into the open, because I was doing the work anyway. But it was like, you have to now give it to the public, like to do the work. So I think we're born, and then when I look back, even at the things that I was interested in and the things that I was guided to learn, like drama, music, arts, you know, and even with that, like I know now when I watch television or the movies that it's over dramatized, the music, you know, everything behind it. So it's interesting how our lives will take us to certain ways to, so that we are more wiser where we are today, if people choose to listen though to the messages. And but we should always have time to reflect back on things. But I love that, because you grew up with it, so it's just naturally inside of you as well. And that's what they did in the old days. They made their own medicine, you know, via herbs and stuff. So I think it's even more important. We need that stuff today.
Oh, 100%. And can I just share, just to finish off the way you asked me the question, I was actually thoughts. I wasn't actually creating it at the time. I was making these things like for myself and for the girls, but not in my work. It was like it was separated, you know, that part of it. And I remember distinctly with my reports, and I was actually writing, telling people, listen, I mean, of course, I work with a medicine woman as well. She's my mentor. She's now passed. In 11 years, she's passed. I worked with a lot of other people, but what had happened, what that struck a chord inside me was I was giving reports and giving the advice, but Val, nobody was listening.
No.
They were not. They were not doing what I was requesting them to do to change their space, to change their life. And I remember saying to a client, don't pay me. I don't want your money, because I don't want to waste my time coming in, viewing, having a look, writing this hours to actually type a report and to give it to you to be exchanged with money. Thank you. But then you're wasting your time because you're actually not following through. And I was devastated. I thought, what am I going to do here? And then, of course, it hit me. Oh, my goodness, Phil. Well, I felt like I wasn't lazy. I'm not that sort of person. I'm a very much a hands-on person. And I started to, so that's how they came about. So that's how my blend, that's how my art was born. And, you know, I was, because I was doing more bigger jobs, I remember going into so many stories, but I remember just being paid a significant amount of money to do a painting and to do signature scents for their staff. And I thought, oh, great. So I felt like this is where people could not make it themselves, but they were able to take what was giving and use them. And I thought, well, that's fantastic. Let's do that. So it got born, basically. It was birthed back then, and it's just grown and grown and grown.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I love these stories, because sometimes we forget like where we started, how we started, where the journey took us in life, like the things that we were interested in, you know, because that's how wisdom comes through experience, you know, and through those aha moments. So it's really good sometimes to reflect and look back, and also to be proud of ourselves for everything we have done and achieved, because I know for you, people like us, like we're more in the creative space, we don't really care about those things, you know, but we need to, you know, we have medicine knowledge within us that we have to share, you know, with people. And it's not done from a place of monetary, like big corporations that are riding off the coattails of people who have genuine gifts and skills and talents and knowledge, you know, from this. So it's good to talk about it. And so we can, you know, got to be proud of yourself for everything you've done. You've done amazing. So let's talk a little bit, like I know it's been 19 months. So how have you coped? I know that there was Cole's brother passed over. So that was some challenging times for you. But how have you been? I know you went really into the creative and you opened that space, and it sounds like more people came on board with that and with you. And, you know, your business expanded even more during the 19 months.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It's, you know, I've got my mum, my dad passed a few years ago, so I care for mum. So mum become part of my world. So it's Cole, my girls, my mum. So there's the responsibility and, you know, my duty of care to mum, and that's been a journey. But we're at really good places. So, you know, she's someone that I watch because, you know, as they're older, it's a little bit difficult for them to understand that you just can't go out. And it's not one day. It has taken a toll on that from what I've seen and experienced. On the other hand, we've had quite a few other deaths. And so I've had to be here for family and Cole, you know, a beautiful man. And then I just, because you see, everything that I've ever birthed and made comes to me through writing. You know, I hear it, I feel it, I write about it, and then there's always a right time where my body says, go make it now, you know. And so I started to just feel like people just need more and more help. See, our oils have been around and herbs have been around for forever, but often we don't turn to them because, you know, it's almost like they're a last resort. You know, I'm not feeling so good, so let's do that. You know, so just to bridge, I feel like people have been sort of pushed back into their bodies now, and they really feel hurt. They're being like, because a lot of the temptations of the phone and this external world has been taken away from them. And with that, it's been from them, then they're almost like found that they've had to come back into themselves. And there, to me, when I look at people and I do sessions and things, there to me lies the initial problem, or, you know, I'll probably say initial problem for them, because they haven't done that before. Whereas someone like me, who's had to sit within myself and had to create, it's my life. So therefore I'm not afraid. I'm just like tuning in and going, what do I need to do here? And so, you know, Sunday Spaces came to me October last year, and I wrote about it, but I didn't. I kept it there. And then I kept nudging me, and I thought, all right, I'll do it 2021. So I started that like January, where every Sunday I'm live on my InfiniteU Creations, my Instagram. And every Sunday I just share something, whatever I'm feeling to share. And people have responded. It's helped me have a voice and just sort of share what I feel. But I like to say, someone once said to me, stick to your work field, your lane. Yeah. Because that's what I'm good at. Well, if I try and turn away from my lane and start asking all these questions, or, you know, then I don't know all the answers. So therefore I'm like, stay in my lane. What am I good at? And let me give that out to the people that need it. And so far, benefit me, and I've been able to help a lot of people. Yeah, that's so good. Like, I've watched that. I've watched you blossom, and it's just been like really great. Because you did the book with me, Strip Yourself Naked. I forgot. You got it? Yeah. I've got it hanging up there. They probably can't see it. Yeah. So you had your story in there, The Flow. It's such a great little book. Like, it's just a little treasure. And it's got great stories in there. So I think it's a real inspiring little book. And people can still get it on Fish Pond in Australia, and it's free delivery for them as well, I think, with the Australian one. So it's a great little book, and I love it. And I remember you came along and did that as well, so that's been good. I've seen you share bits and pieces of it as well. And life is about flowing, isn't it? Because I think that's your thing. It's about flow. So talk a little bit more about that. At the moment, I want to launch a lot of, because we haven't been able to do flow workshops in person. So, and I was very stubborn. I don't want to do them online. I really want to connect with people and be able to visually see, and be in the same energetic space, be in the same room with the people that are coming to join. And I want that desperately. And I know that a lot of people ever do. But I have started writing about flow now. For us to be able to do it even like this, like a Zoom call, which is very foreign to someone like me, and I know to you as well, Val. But however, a little bit, if this is sort of a direction that we need to take, then I feel that I need to work with it in order to still get my message out. But flow is huge, because, you know, when I wasn't in flow, obviously, meaning that I had a lot of things happening to me negatively, and a lot of things weren't going the way I wanted to. And you know, I stopped to look at those reasons and look at, you know, how am I taking responsibility, a part in this role, and how am I, you know, what can I do to level up myself, step up, take responsibility, and sort of change my life. And then learning, everything comes together. So the oils, the herbs, the colors, breath work, qigong. I'm really big on qigong, so I'm really big on movement.
Yeah.
So all these then deliver that flow. So, flow is not the opposite to like being stagnant and just stopping and just sort of waiting for something to happen. And I don't stop. I can't stop. I don't stop. I don't know how to wait. So I just continually just go, okay, what do I have to do here? And then when I get tired, I just rest.
Yeah. That's what you got to do. You rest when you're tired and then you just like keep going. Yeah, it's true. And like, I think this has been what's happened the last 19 months, has been like a near death experience. People are like reevaluating everything, what's important to them, what's not, where do they want to live, what do they really want to do. I was saying even to people at the beginning when they were, a little bit scared about what's going on, it's like, you have to come back into yourself and you have to do what's right for you. Don't just follow the masses. Like, if you have to downsize, sell what you don't need. It's about having a moral backbone now. We've got to stand for what's truth for us. And then when we take the pressure off, and some people do, they need to downsize to take the pressure off, then life does flow better, because now you don't have those extra toxic external, mind chatter as well. So, people really need to do what they can do. But I feel that's what's happened the last 19 months. People have really come into themselves. So that's been a positive to it in building family. And I think as soon as they open up maybe the borders again, people start scattering again to be closer to family and closer, or even if it's not blood related, people are coming with like-minded individuals now that share the same common ground. So I already know of groups of people and they're already building, their farms, their produce, their water, and they're all interconnected and building a great network. And it's funny because I remember 10 years ago, we were talking about bartering and sharing, and this is all coming up again. So we need these skills. And I think people like yourself and me, we knew this was coming because we were sending out warnings a long time ago. Spirit was preparing us with everything so that we could assist people so they can sit in themselves. We've been humbled by life. We've had the times where everything's been taken from us. So we are not as attached to the materialism of life. Like, I love all the things I have, but I know I don't take anything with me when it's my time to go, and that's not what we're here for. And I think people who are more creative and people who have been humbled and have hit rock bottom and only had a couple of dollars in their, in their account, see life totally different. We've gone through hardships, and we're the ones that, instead of ignoring those hardships or maybe taking alcohol, drugs or whatever, we sat with it. And then we thought, okay, what's the wisdom in this? And then we healed from it. So, and then we shared that with others, so that they can heal themselves with what's happening. So do you think that sort of,
I couldn't have said it myself. That's massive and 100% spot on.
Yeah. I feel that's what's happening. So what advice would you give people who are still feeling a little bit, don't know where to go or feeling scared? Because there's a lot of fear and people are being scared and a lot of anxiety. So what would you, of course, I'd recommend them to go to your website and buy the sprays and my signature scent when it comes out. But what would you recommend for them to do?
I mean, there's two things come to mind instantly. There's always yourself, who you are, yourself and your body. But there's always your space, your immediate space. And while the TV and everything else is telling us what's happening outside of our space, we necessarily can't always control a lot of those decision making. We wish we could, because we would change them and make them very different for humanity. But in some instances we can't. So for me and in my work, I've always stuck to if you can change your body and you can change your space, and then bring you closer to your heart's desires and things. So one thing, firstly, with the body, I have noticed a lot, and I shared it a couple of weeks ago on my Sunday Spaces. I've got my other phone here, so I'll just hold it. Like, I'm talking to you now, we've got our phones up or computers. We're supposed to walk around and engage with the world like this. you know, talk to people, because we haven't been able to do that. We've been stuck indoors. What I found from the Qigong perspective is here we've got our phones and we're basically holding our hands with our phones and our heads are down.
Yeah.
So as our heads are down, constantly looking at the phone, think about what you're blocking a lot of this as well. You're blocking this part of your body. And also, you know, we're looking down. We're already locked down. We're looking down. We're feeling down. So it's like, oh my goodness, we just need to, a lot of our heart chakra's been blocked.
Yeah.
People are feeling, you are feeling the pain. You're carrying the pain. It's inside you. It's everywhere because you haven't shaken it off. You haven't moved. So it's so important to, like, first and foremost, get up, you know, like I did today, get up, get dressed. I do every day. Get up, get dressed, put your makeup on. It does not matter that you haven't got a job to go to, maybe.
That's
but
right.
the fact that making a movement within your body will create that shift. And trust me, because I know I've felt it. I've been doing it for years. That energy will find you, but you got to make the first move yourself. So first and foremost is check your body posture. Have you moved? What are you eating? All these sorts of things in which you know yourself, Val.
Yeah.
You know, and then the other thing is have a look at your space. You know, what's around you. You know, what are you looking at? Do you like looking at it? If you don't, for example, the TV, if every time you turn it on, you're getting anxious, there's a lot of nervous tension. I'm finding the nervousness is creating more fear. So I would say switch off, turn off your nervous system, as that's your job.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's true. And like, because there's been a phenomena happening now, a lot of people in the psychological sort of field have noticed people are losing their memory. People are not moving. They're staying in the same room. We're lucky we've got healing spaces so we can move. Because I know even when friends come, they'll just come sit here in the healing room because it just feels so good for them. So they'll come and sit down for a bit. So it is a phenomena. So people are losing their memory, and so I did a newsletter and suggested people move their desk around, put some new pictures up, you know, print out some photos. They don't even cost much to print out a photo, even, you know, online, do it on Big W, whatever, and do, like, just move, change pillows out, change rugs, you know, throw rugs. Like, if you can't afford to buy new ones, just if you've got some in another room, just swap it out. So, because, you know, as people, we're meant to be, we're discovery. We're all about discovery and we're curious. That's the human nature, because we're creative beings. And because we can't meet new people and go to new places or places where we feel inspired, it's really like put people on a very heavy way. And so they're just in this Groundhog Day. And it's really hard for people to shake it off and try. So that's what I suggest to people: move your furniture around, you know, face your bed a different way, face your desk a different way. If you have to work from home, go outside. If you do your Zoom calls on your phone outside, if you can work outside, even better, because hearing nature, fresh air is really important. And turn the television off, because intuitively we know we're being lied to. So when has a politician ever told the truth? Like, you know, so, you know, even if mentally you're trying to believe what's being said to you, intuitively, your intuition and soul know when you're being lied to. So, you know, so people need to, as you said, change the space, look at your space. And when people are feeling very anxious and depressed, they've got to, if they can just get up and have a shower and put fresh clothes on, that's like a really great first start. And because a lot of people struggle to even do that, but to just get up, do that, and even make yourself some food, even if it's a piece of toast, or have some fruit, or make a fruit salad, or, you know, that at least, even if you can't do much more than that, you know, that's something. But I do worry about people's mental health, especially children, with hundreds of them being going to emergency. And even, and as you said, the throat, like that's coming up a lot when I work with clients. And so I'm working a lot with their throat and their heart, because people are just like really nervous and unsure about the future. So, you know, their heart energies are closed. So I'm opening that up and really working on their nervous system, and, you know, really expanding the light within, because that is so powerful that we can send it out and make a difference. So I'm going to be doing some more group meditation as well, because it's real powerful the more people come together and we share that energy. It's, yeah.
Do you remember we did a little while ago, I mean, obviously before COVID, where we had that group, you did some drumming, and
Yeah.
we had, I just remembered how powerful sound is, So if we're switching off the TVs and other devices, then maybe tuning into the sound of sort of our own little meditation with the kids. If I miss going to the beach, so I play like maybe beach music, and sort of like having visuals of the beach or just nature, because as human beings, the only place we go to sort of make us exchange that energy and heal us is nature.
That's right. I actually did an Instagram post of a beautiful nature woman, flowers, everything. And I said, nature's the answer, and nature has all the answer. We don't get it from laboratories, and all we have to do is just sit in nature and meditate, and the wisdom will come. Universal knowledge is within all of us, and ourselves, and our ancestors are with us and sending that. We block it because we get in our own way. But this is why meditation is so important. Even if it's 5 minutes meditation a day, it's very important to open up, because that's where because the etheric field, as you know, is filled with information. And this is where all our thoughts, everything goes, the whole, consciousness of everybody. So when people meditate, this is when they get the aha moments, your ancestors' energy that's in the etheric field, because nothing is lost, although they're trying to cut that out with their artificial intelligence, but it's all there. So when we meditate, this is where we get information. This is when we have the aha moments. This is when we get ideas, or, for creative things. So meditation is hugely important, as you know.
What I've shared with some people who are like, especially in terms of the children, is like maybe like us as adults, because we tend to sort of forget because we've been doing it for longer. So it may come along. But what I've suggested to some of the mums who've had messages and conversations with is, don't even maybe label as meditation, but just say we're just going to sit outside in the sun.
Yeah.
We're just gonna, even if they just do that, it gets them out of the house where they're studying and sitting in all day, and also not to be afraid of it. If it's raining, who cares?
That's right.
Walk in the rain.
I know. We used to love it growing up, walking in the rain. We didn't have all this, get dropped off, picked up from school. We used to have to walk.
Skateboard, roller skates, and it's like, oh, who cares? And so the kids have become a little bit more, kind of just sitting around holding phones. And again, that looking down. Watch the kids looking down a lot. Get off them, or make them look up, and get out, and like you say, they're designed to remember a lot of things, and they will, if anything, they will feel so much better, which then uplifts their spirit, and it just helps. Nobody wants to be inside.
No, and that's not that's not why we're built. That's not what we're here for. We're not here to just sit inside, like old people, or continue this two-dimensional with the internet and the phone. Like, that's really two-dimensional, and it does dumb you down the more you're online, and this is also causing people to lose a lot of their memories, and people are very frustrated, because before this, a lot of people were like, oh yeah, it'd be great to work from home. And then once it started, they realized, oh, this is not so great, because they're not interacting now with their co-workers, because we need physical energy. We need to be next to people, walking past people, because we actually heal each other. So our energy systems that we're not taught about is, quite advanced, very advanced. And just like women, how the menstrual cycles will, combine and become the same time each month, and our livers our bodies talk to each other, and I know, because I do the energy work, and so I know I've witnessed the miracles, and with the right intentions and using the right energies to do that, and so they've cut that off, and that's very dangerous. And this is why suicide has increased so much, because we need to be out and about. And I know mums and fathers are really anxious, but the kids will pick it up. And it is hard for everyone. So I, like yourself, just sit outside, just be in the moment. This is what I've been getting very strong from spirit, is tell people to just be in the moment, because we've got so much power in this moment. We can spend and feel like we've lived a whole lifetime in a minute, in a moment. You know, when
Yeah.
you fall in love with someone, when you see them across the room, you know, it's like two worlds colliding, and you can, you know, end up talking to them and just feel like you've lived a whole lifetime with them, you know, in just that little conversation. So a whole lifetime, you know, so the moment is very important, because that's all we got. If we keep thinking about the future, well, we don't know for sure. Whatever comes will come, and we just got to face it, because just know that if you stand in your truth, and you know, your soul's going to go to a beautiful place. I know where my soul's going. I know where the politician souls are going, you know. And the society has started to segregate a little bit, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know, because people are going to be, we're going to be working harder, put it that way, but for something better. So we're going to be working hard on connecting with each other, but for something better, you know, and more people are going to come along, because it's just going to be more natural, and it's going to be, we're going to use our magical skills we have inside us. Like we're so powerful, and we've been taught from such a young age to not listen to it. And we don't have the wisdom teachers. Like with my sessions, what I love is when I'm working with people, is there's a lot of teaching happening. There's a lot of wisdom. So people are walking out more empowered, because now they know more about themselves, and they can put the dots together of where or how it started, or why they're feeling the way they're feeling. That's why I get a lot of people saying, wow, one session with you, I've learned more than the years of seeing so-and-so, you know, because it is more interactive, because I want people to feel empowered and in themselves again, and believing their abilities and skills. And also after sessions, people's intuition increases, because we get rid of all those blocks. So all this is important. Nature, which is what you're doing, you know, the crystals, the herbs, the essential oils, we need that. It changes our chemistry in our body. Spirit just gave me confirmation. So, you know, we need it. It changes the chemistry in our body, and it heals us. Just smelling certain things can heal the body. Like, and our mind is powerful. We can heal it with our thoughts.
Yeah. What I want to share too is what I've seen over the last, 15 years is change has this, I feel, this perception of it's just instantaneous. It's not instantaneous. It can be to certain people. It depends on your vibration and where you're at. However, like working with things that you need to work with, go outside into the sunlight and do all these things and move your body, maybe have a smell of something. Like the changes are ever so minute and subtle, but in that subtlety, they're milestones. They're so huge.
Yes.
So don't for this, massive thing. Sometimes the changes are so small, but they're permanent as well. It won't go away. So just continue. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to just continue to work on yourself. Don't be afraid.
That's right. Because self-awareness, as my first program says, awareness of self is the first step to success. And it's only through awareness, because that's all it is. It's about awareness. I don't even like using truth and freedom movements. It's about awareness, but facing our truth, facing the falsehoods that we've lived in. Because when there's corruption outside, we've got to look at the corruption inside ourselves as well, So there is sometimes that mirror, but it's all about growing that awareness. And when you're aware, you can start to do things different. Like you said, that's what becomes that instantaneous, that healing, because now you become aware. Now you know, oh wow, sitting outside feels good, I'm really getting something out of this, smelling this is, it's really making me feel good. And then we elevate from that awareness. So we get more wisdom, we get more awareness. And there was a meme I wrote about, facing one's truth, or even the truth around the world, can be daunting. And at first there's a lot of rejection. We don't want to face it. We'll battle with it, So there's rejection. But then once we accept, then we heal, then we start to walk like warriors, and that's what it's about. So we've got to accept that whatever is not right for us, accept it, start looking into it, grow awareness of it, then, because that's your healing process. And then you're actually stronger as a person. And not only that, you know that you will be protected and guided. So I think our spiritual muscle has to be, at this time, worked on more than anything else.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. you know, that's the whole dilemma, is as people haven't not had, there's so much distraction, you know, with the distractions of the world and with everything that they feel that they need to do, there hasn't been an opportunity like there is now for that stillness and quietness. It's come at a humongous cost. We don't even want to go there. A huge cost. However, as individuals, you know, if we can just kind of like maybe embrace that and think, well, okay, you know, how happy was I really? You know, or how was I really? How financially abundant was I? Where was my thoughts? Where was I heading? Where was I? And just really come back home into yourself and then reassess, like you're saying. And then, you know, I think that our hearts are growing bigger.
Yeah.
As a result of that, you know, and it's not for everybody. And we've never had it, we don't want everybody to be the same, because that's not yin and yang. There's always a yin and yang. We're always going to have, there's a calling, you know, and if you feel that inner calling, I feel you should follow it and just see where it leads you, because it's just like a little door opening, another little door, you know.
And you know, like people need teachers. They need someone to go to talk about these things, you know, and like yourself, like me, like we've been through it. We get it, you know, we've hit the rock, we get it, and we understand even the process of it, so we can guide people. Because there's people that will do the crystals and the meditation, but they're not going in and doing the awareness work. They're not wanting to be, because sometimes we've got to be that observer of our thoughts. We've even got to be our own worst critic sometimes. Like, what part did I play in that? You know, was I the asshole in that situation? Like, you know, because it is a bit of a narcissistic society that's been created lately, you know, me, I, selfies, look how pretty I am, you know. And a lot of people also will find, well, if I just do this, then everything's okay. But, you know, it's not. You need, because we lost that story time. Like, even my mum will talk about when they, as kids, they loved it when the elders would walk in the room, the grandmothers and the grandfathers, and I'd sit in front of them to hear the stories. And my mum keeps talking about one grandfather who actually talked to her about what's happening today. As you said, it's just amazing. Like, when I look back thinking, wow, he was spot on and right, you know. And he said to, you know, this is what you guys are going to witness when you grow up. And you know, because they were more, like, mum come from the village, so more in nature. They were more in tuned, so much more intuitive. I don't even remember before technology, you know, whatever I wanted would come to me anyway. Like, we were just as intuitive, and we still used, actually, I think it was even better. It was more powerful. Whatever I was interested in, I'll meet someone that could give me information on it, you know, which happens today, but it's even more harder because we're not moving around so much. And even with the internet, it's still very compartmentalized, and, you know, can be hard, but it's definitely worth people reaching out to, you know, people like yourself or me, or, you know, to start to build that wisdom within yourself, what your experiences mean, where you want to go, how you want to feel, you know, and how to be strong and live in the moment, because that's where we change the future.
And also, I always feel like I used to read a lot of books as well, you know. It's some books, please. This is not your, you know, the phones are not, these are really, a lot of the things even I looked up, I'm like, gee, even the meaning of those words have changed. A lot of things have changed. And the only way I know that is because, you know, I'm almost 50. I know that, but, you know, if I'm talking to my 22-year-old daughter, she doesn't know that, because she doesn't know that, but we do. So I feel like saying, like, other than, you know, sourcing out or looking out to the people that you're attracted to learn something from, or, you know, purchase something from, or ask for advice and support, you know, also have a look at really old books and see what, you know, what other, some of the knowledge that was passed down from a lot of the masters are still available, whether they're in the books or you come across it. But like I always say, ask the question, and then, like you confirmed before, the answers will find you. And it's just your own self, your own magic. But also, we can't do that when we're scared, when we're just so thinking about you're gonna die from whatever, you know. Well, life is, we have certain breaths, you know, as has been told, you know, we all have certain amount of breaths. Yes, we will depart this physical self. We don't have to go part. But while we're here, let's enjoy it and let's be with ourselves and, you know, just.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been telling. And it's interesting you say that about books, because I tell people if you can get your hands on any books that are old, 1600, 17, 1800, buy them, because they are archiving them, because there's like an archive.org or something, I don't know. But they're actually changing them around even on there. People are like hacking in, and just like they can hack into Wikipedia and change stuff. So if you can get your hands on older books, get them and keep them, because they're the original sort of text that won't be, you know, mucked around with as much. But yeah, you're right. Like it is about, I've been encouraging everybody, just getting the moment, because for now you've got everything you need. You've got a roof over your head, you've got some food in the cupboard, you've got, you know, a few dollars you can go buy your milk and your bread, and you know, and but if they're really struggling financially, then I do say to them, well, have discussion with your partner. Do you downsize? What do you sell? What do you need to do, you know, so that you feel a little bit more confident?
And I do want to also share with that, Val, what we forget when we're in the state of fear is that light, that connection that we have.
Yeah.
We have it 24/7 forever. It does not go away. It goes away by you staying in that fear or not listening or not being in your body. So it's very important. A lot of us are living in our heads. So going back to Qigong, you know, your feet and I'm touching my legs. Touching your legs, really getting out there, and like, you know, especially for, I feel like saying for boys for some reason, you know, the boys that are very athletic and running and they can't be doing that, get them to do their karates and get them to really do those movements, because these movements are helping their physical body, their energetic body, you know. But
yeah, kids need to go barefoot. You're exactly right. Kids need to go barefoot, and you're right with that. That's been the meditations I've been working with people. I've been really expanding the light even more.
Right.
And the spirit just changes it around for me. So expanding it even more, and it's been really powerful. So with the feedback from people, and they're just like, wow, that was just, and they just feel real energized. So reminding them to live in the moment, because right now this is all you can think about anyway. The past is finished. We don't know what the future holds. So look after what you can, be here. Yeah. But for kids, yes, but even adults, get barefoot and go outside, you know, and get your hands dirty if you can. Get them in, you know, in some dirt, like do some planting or something if you can. But whether people living in apartments or whatever, go to your local park, get barefoot, even if it's cold, hot, doesn't matter. You know, but that's really important even for kids, you know. And even with people, like I tell people to just shake, you know, like animals, when they get scared or frightened, they shake their body, so that helps their nervous system. So even if you're feeling really stressed or too much in your brain, just shake your body for a minute or two, and that will help loosen even the nervous system, and to move those energies from our system. Because you're right, we've got to remember the creative spark in us, you know. That's what we are. We're all unique fingerprints, unique irises, you know. We're not one size fits all, and so we shouldn't allow that that, you know, dialogue or that agenda to get put on us. We're all unique, and we're all fractals of divine source, experiencing this beautiful life here on earth, you know. And we've got to embrace it and embrace ourselves, because the more we're in that higher, even calm or neutral energy, it's actually stronger than the fear energy they're putting out. So, because that's lower level.
And what I was going to say with that, what came to, I just want to share that. That's energy clearing. So it's one of my sprays.
I love it. I've got it here. I've got it here. And this is what I use all the time.
So the reason why I want to share it is, oh my God, can't live without it.
I love it. I love it.
We're talking about that. Now, the thing is, as there is perpetuating constant fear, if you can sort of come back into that alignment and clear, that's what I wanted to bring to show you, that energy clearing. Energy clearing basically means that you will, if you've had 10 phone calls with 10 people, you need to clear 10 times. If you've watched TV and it's just instantly made you change your field, you need to clear immediately. And you know, so basically when we're talking about going out to nature, we are saying that's a way of clearing. you know, and if
That's
you can't
right.
go out and make all the blends and things, sort of like, it's still it's still a tool to help you clear whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. The purpose is that you're not keeping it in your system and becoming spiraling out of control and going into that downward state. You know, we don't want
energies, yeah.
that low energy.
You know,
Low energy.
our imagination, our imagination is so powerful as well. So take yourself wherever you want to go. You know, sometimes I'm outside and I hear the traffic, and to me, it sounds like the roar of the ocean. Do you know what I mean? Like we can use our imagination, and this is where sense and smells are really important. So if you might smell something that smells beachy, you know, like, oh, I'm at the beach, you know, or something fresh like a spring, you know, something citrusy that reminds you of spring or summer, or, you know, so this is where essential oils can really help people as well and open up the imagination, because that's what's powerful. It's our creativity. And this is what they're stealing and sucking from us now. They're replicating our personalities. They're replicating this for the AI, for the artificial intelligence. So, but we are still more spontaneous and creative than any robot, any artificial intelligence. And this is the thing, people need to understand, they're so fucking magnificent. Like,
here we are. And I always say, so long as we have nature, if I can go out and pick a beautiful rose, I'm so blessed. I'll take that rose and I'll thank it. And that's going to just, you know, but if you look around you on your 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer, 100 kilometer walk, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, have a look and see what's around you and pick it up and smell it. Go back to even with the oils have, you know, been made, but where do they come from? They originally come from nature. They originally come from the herbs. So going back, there was no oils. They would be using the herbs directly, you know, working with all that, making their own concoctions, and, you know, they were medicine women and medicine man, you know. Right. We all are our own medicine. So how do we, you know, then bring that nature's wisdom and nature's medicine back to ourselves, you know, and they can create whatever they can create, but it's not going to, you'll feel it once you bring your body into different vibration. You will feel what's real and true and what's not. And I always say with scents, especially, you know, essential oils don't have they're not made in a synthetic laboratory. So a lot of perfumes out there are all alcohol and synthetics that will not help your energy. So if you're currently wearing, girls, boys, whoever you are, anything that's synthetic, please don't wear it. Please, it smells incredible. I get it, especially musk. But understand, where would you find musk out in nature? Ask yourself that question. It doesn't exist. It's man-made. But if you ask yourself, where can you see eucalyptus? Well, there's eucalyptus trees everywhere. So if you can see it in nature, my advice to you is, that's real, and it's been put into a bottle, but it must be authentic and real. Again, we're interested in changing your energy, your circuit board, as you know, Val. You know, we want to change. We want to change your energy.
You're right, because it does lift the vibration, and not only that, all those poisons is very toxic to our system. It's cancer causing. It's very toxic. So even when I work with people, because I ask them everything. So when they come here, I'm asking about their lives, what's toxic, what they eat, what they wear, like the whole shebang. And I will tell them, you've got to stop this.
It's not just one thing, and you could just put it down. If you just did this, then you're going to live forever. No, sorry, that's not the way life works. You could just get that. You know, you'll be safe and protected, but then you might go home and, you know, do all these other things. And how is that?
We've got to explore. We've got to explore, and you get to one level, and then once you're there and you're comfortable, you go to another level. You get pushed to go up again. So I know even with the people that I see, they'll come see me for one particular reason. Once we've worked on that and they're better and they're feeling great, you know, I'll get that call 6 months later or a year later, and they're like, oh, you know, like they're hitting a wall again. It's like, okay, now we've got to move you up to the next level, because the body will release when you're ready. You can't release everything all at once, because then people will just go crazy. It will release slowly. And this is why I was saying just meditating is great, but it's not the answer. It's all about, we're here to learn about ourselves, who and what we are, so that we can transform life here and make it better for future generations, you know. So there's always different levels, different frequencies, and you're right. So when we lift it up, we break the negative lower energies. Love is so powerful. Love, joy, laughter, happiness, contentment, those frequencies are.
Can I just share? Thank you so much, because someone just yesterday made a comment. Why am I always so happy? Why am I always positive? And I had to, and just as you asked me when we first started chatting, you took me back to how I began, because often in your day to day, I don't think about those things, right? And why am I? And I thought to myself, the thing is, the secret is, when you've constantly been clearing for years and years and years and years and years, not consciously clearing, but it clears itself because I'm always building up my body and building up my system. Then therefore, I'm not holding on to a lot of things. I'm living very currently. I'm here now. I'm living here now. I'm not holding on to my divorce of 10 years ago, and I'm not worrying about where I'm going to live 20 years from now. Like, there's a lot of things that contribute to a person being happy. So, you know, whilst all of us, there's, you know, the 100% of the population that is not happy with where we're at, including myself, including you, there has to be some level of, well, shutting out almost that and coming back into, if I make myself happy continually, then I'm blessing myself, my space, my partner. And then when I go to the shops and I'm smiling at someone, I'm changing them as well.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I love that. I love what you said. You're not hanging on to things anymore. You're not hanging on to the past. It's like, well, I'm not in control of what's going to come in the future, but if you're in control of you now, then you are creating the future, because the past, present, and future are all one anyway. But the more we stay in the moment, the more we find our centeredness and all of that, then we're going to have that tomorrow and the next day and the next day, you know, and we're going to be an inspiration for other people to get there as well, which obviously, you know, you have been and doing the Sunday spaces. So people are feeling inspired by that and they feel good in that. So even if that 20 minutes or 10 minutes or hour, whatever, how long you do your Sunday spaces for, like, that's what gets people to feel better, then that's great. And that's what I say to people, find something, because even if it's that 10, 15 minutes of letting go of the rest of the world, even if you have to tell yourself to shut up, like, that is healing, very healing in itself. And it gets you motivated and gets you through, you know, the next day.
You've got to have those. Look, today, partner Nicole said, you know what, Phil? I'm going to make dog biscuits. He said, yes, I'm going to go out and buy wholemeal flour, and I'm going to get, and he's named all these ingredients, and I'm sure when I get off the phone call, he'll be making dog biscuits. Like, what? But that's
do you have a dog?
Oh, he's got dogs, yep. $1 for a packet of dog biscuits. I'm going to make my own. Like, but the thing about that, why I want to share it, was because, you see, he could be sitting around watching TV and feeling sorry for himself too. You see, or and I could have come up today wearing a completely different color, or, you know, but like, that's the message. The message is always hidden, to see people's words and what people are doing, and, you know, how it helps them. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, you know, I always think, I mean, like, maybe I'm going a bit deep when I say this, but I was born alone. I came out of my mum's, you know, body alone. You know, when I depart the earth, I'm going to be alone again. But whilst in that aloneness, I'm so connected to everything and everyone. And may I be as useful with myself and those around me, and then may I part on whatever I've got to other people. And if I've done that, that's it.
Yeah, but that's what we're here for, Filiz. We're filling that etheric field with so much information, you know, for future generations, for whoever that will meditate will get our message energetically, because our consciousness expands when we meditate, and so that's how we get, you know, all that information. So, you know, completely right. We all the material things and the conveniences, beautiful, but we don't take them with us. So we have to also get real with what's important in life. And as I said, people have reevaluated, and to them now it's like family, their health, this is what's really important. And this is what we need to work on. And for mental health especially, just be in the moment, come back, create something, make a cake, muffins, whatever, you know, dog biscuits, like, you know, come back to you. And
yeah, I just had that thought that I just want to quickly share it too. Like, you know, that when you're here too much and you're stressing and everything, like, it's very important to work with your hands.
Yes.
Hands are connected to our hearts and our head. So therefore, if you can come in and go, well, you know, I could go to a shop and spend $10, but I can actually make it too. But it's not the fact that you're going to make it, but the fact is that you're actually engaging in your tools, which is originally our hands, which is what our ancestors used, and that's why they didn't have the problems we have, because they made everything. So our hands are massive, you know, whereas these days it's like Uber Eats, just make a phone call and it comes to my door. That is not going to save you.
No,
you have to
and
so
we were also brought up where we ate home, like we had takeaway once a week, you know, we used to have fish and chips once a week on a Friday, you know, and so we were brought up, like we're very lucky, you know, but and people are interested in these things. And you're right, even me lately, I've been feeling I want to do more, I want to create more, I need to you know, move even my energy a bit and create more using my hands, you know, and typing on the on your phone or on the computer is not the way to go. But anyway, look, we've been nearly an hour, so let's do a reading for the collective. So maybe if you want to, like, I don't know, magically close your eyes, pick something, and let's see, what does the collective need to know? And I'm going to do it with my affirmation cards.
My basket, please. I'll pick up my signature scent cards, which is all of the elements and all of elements and some of my artwork. So I'll just shuffle maybe and see what.
Yeah, shuffle, and we'll just set the intention. What does the collective need to know right now in this moment? What message?
I got 2 cards, Val.
Yeah. Well, it's so amazing because the ones I picked was, the first one was, these are my Oracle affirmation cards at my deck that I created. Even though you may feel you've had enough, be stubborn enough to not give up, to never give up. And the other one is, what I believe is what I will create. And the last one, because there was 2 that stood out to me, the last one is, you are the chaser, the receiver. So I love that. I think it sort of says what we've been talking about. Be stubborn, look after your health, your mental health, be in the moment. What you believe is what you create. So shift the energy so you believe in something better, and you are the chaser and the receiver. So if we're chasing something better for ourselves, we will receive it. It has to. It's the way, it's just mathematically, energetically, magnetism. That's what it's all about. So I think they're amazing ones.
There are two have come out. I just want to share, like, there's an enormous amount of colors and all sorts of things in there of nature. But the 2 cards that came out, how incredible. That's flow.
I love it because it's like the ocean. I love the beach. That's like the ocean.
So on another level, it's clearing. So as we've been talking a lot about, please clear your energy. Be mindful. Make sure that before you go to sleep at night, maybe make sure that, have I cleared today? Or am I taking whatever I've gone through the day with me at night? You know, make sure you do clear. So energy clearing, clear the ocean. And everything's water. Everything is water. And then this is an incredible one too that came out. But look at that.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
So I think that as in our heart, you know, and red can represent maybe even the pain of people, you know, but also the opposite is our base chakra. It's strength, the strength of our hearts, and then the color becomes lighter towards the end. So moving, you know, away from maybe all this and then moving back to the light.
Exactly.
So to me, I read that today. That makes sense.
And it just correlates with everything we were talking about as well. So I'm sure it's going to give people hope. And, you know, the heart is the most powerful energy source in our body. And it's always constricted. When I work with people, it's constricted too much. So another bit of advice I'm going to give people is breathe into your heart, exhale the anxiety, take those deep breaths in through the nose, fill up the belly like a balloon, and follow that cycle of breath. Breathe into your heart, and as you release the anxiety, your heart will expand. and it is the most powerful energy source in our body.
Yep.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for chatting with me. It was so good. We'll have to do it again, and maybe bring some exercises or something to people. But I think everyone's just going to love watching this. It's amazing. So thanks so much, Filiz, and we'll talk soon. Sorry, what was that?
I hope that we've been able to help some people, and that's our mission,
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. Help everyone, and we can do it because we have an understanding of it. And the more we help each other, the stronger we get anyway. So, and we put a lot of work in what we do. It's not easy. It's 24/7. It's never switches off for me. I get the downloads straight away from people. I get the dreams. I get the prolific insight. So it's not something I can switch off, nor you. It's not that you can't switch off your creativity. We're in it now, and but we've got something we can offer to people if they feel called, to connect and bring something into them. And sometimes we also even have to go back to the basics to help us, blossom again. Keep it simple as well. Don't overthink, overcomplicate things. All right, any last words, Filiz, before we?
No, just sending out, going with the heart. I think just sending out a lot of love, and just send out love. And as you send it out from your heart, you receive it as well. Just do a blessing for everybody. Just, send out love, ourselves today, sending out love. Everyone, if we do that every day, sit down at dinner table or wherever it is, just send out love to everybody. People that aren't doing beneath. There's always people beneath us and above us, so. Yeah, just use our
always, even when I sit to eat, I always give thanks, and I always send the wish and blessing and prayer that everyone gets access to wonderful, amazing meals and food to eat like myself. So I think when we're in that space of appreciation and we send that out for others, then, they're going to get it. They're going to receive it, and then we walk it. Anyway, we have to continue, because I love the whole frequency, vibration, and when we're walking in one area, and when we're feeling a better way, all the negative stuff just don't, like, if I'm feeling good, I'm going to meet good people feeling good too.
Yeah.
If I'm in low energies.
Yeah, like the duck, the water, the ducks in the water comes off, and that's how I see it. The more you're feeling better and good about yourself, then the more, and if you're not, then you look at ways that you can change. There's a lot of opportunities out there as well, despite the lockdown. There's a lot of where there's always going to be a gap where there's a lot of opportunities for you to grow and take those opportunities. Look at that, that's my last message.
It's a very creative space. Yeah, it's a very creative space right now, because there really isn't anything definite. We still have room to move this and gear it to what we want. And this is where it comes to, I think we have to go in, expand our light, really find our moral backbone as well. A lot of people are having back problems because it's about standing up now for something you really believe in. You can't brush things under the carpet anymore. This whole thing was meant to happen, as I said in another podcast. It's the energy that has to be released. We know there's been corruption forever. So this is now the time, like it's the apocalypse means the great unveiling. So this is a time to take the layers of untruths from ourselves and the world around us. And I think it's a great opportunity to create the world we want and to move forward healthier and better as individuals and as a collective, as that human consciousness expands. And a lot of people are doing that. They're creating more. Anyway, Filiz, thanks so much. And, we'll have to do this again. And it was amazing. And I'm building up my confidence to go live on Instagram as well. And so I've had so many people lately saying to me, your voice is so calming, and, get on there. And so
I feel that when you show up, you're showing up for yourself, and it encourages other people to show up too,
Yeah. Exactly. So I've been doing it different, so maybe I'll do that too. But anyway, I love you so much. Say hi to Cole and the girls, and I hope the dog biscuits turn out great. Yeah. And we'll talk soon. Lots of love, everyone. Thanks for watching.
That's all right. Bye.